This is exercise 2 of module 3 when we're talking about roles and permissions in Liferay. So in the last exercise, we went ahead and edited an existing role, and then we assigned that role to a user so that they could edit blogs. In this exercise, we're going to create our own custom site role, and we'll add a lot of the same permissions. We'll be adding a lot of permissions here. These two slides tell all the permissions that we need to add for web content, blogs, and then also documents. So we'll go through these each one by one. And then afterwards, as a bonus exercise, what you can and should probably do is test each one of these permissions. Go ahead and create a new user, give them that site content creator role that we're going to create in this exercise. Log in as that user, and then test all of these permissions related to adding and editing web contents, documents, and blogs. It's good to get an idea for what each one of these permissions does, so I highly recommend doing this bonus exercise. But for now, we're going to go through these steps one by one. First, we need to create a new site content creator role. So let's go ahead and do that step. I'm going to switch over to the browser. We'll be doing all of these things as our administrator. Just to make this simple, he has full administrative access, so I'm going to go ahead and sign in as Josiah. Okay, so let's go over to the roles section. I'm going to click on site roles. Let's go over here and see what happens. Oh yeah, depending on what menu we're under or what tab, it's going to give us a different contextual action. So we want to click on site roles first and then click on add. We're going to call this role site content creator. Alright, it was successful. Let's go ahead and click the back button. We can see our site content creator here. Now we need to add a bunch of permissions to this role here. Click on that role. Let's flip back over to our slides. So let's do steps 2 and 3 now. We need to add 4 different permissions: site administration, access, and view permissions for web content, as well as add folder and view permissions. This slide actually says the wrong thing here. For step 2, we need to add site administration, access, and view permissions under general. Okay, and then we're going to also check the add folder and view permissions for web content section. So you'll see what I mean if we switch back to the browser here. Let's go back. Okay, go into define permissions, and then content and data, web content. Under general permissions, we want to select access in site administration. What that is referring to is, remember, site administration is this. If you will remember, site administration is under the product menu. It's the second panel. There's a control panel and the site administration panel. What that means is you'll be able to access the web content from over here. Okay, we're going to select that so that we can allow the user to add that web content, as well as in general to view web content. We also want to select add folder and view from here. Okay, what else do we need to add? Let's refer back to the slide. Add subfolder, web content, update, and view permissions. Under which section? Under web content folder. So let's switch back. What this is saying is we want to be able to add subfolders under a web content folder. We want to be able to add web content to web content folders. So basically filling those folders up. Update the folder and view the folder. Check, 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 check. That's 4 more. Alright, so we need to add update and view permissions for web content articles. So head back here, update and view. And that's it for web content. We can press save. Next we need to handle blogs. So we'll head over to blogs. Step 1 is going to be site administration, access, and view permissions for blogs. So this is going to be the same as step 2, just for web content. Check these 2 boxes. Next, we need to select add entry permission for all blog entries, as well as add, delete, update, discussion, update, and view permission for blogs. It's a lot of permissions there. So let's flip back on over. We're going to select add entry. And this is under blogs entry. So the reason add is not a specific blogs entry action is because it's not tied to any specific blog entry ID, right? Because at this point we don't have any blog created, so it can't be tied to any blog entry ID. So we're going to click add entry there. It's a top level permission. And then over here, I believe it was add discussion, update, view, and what was the last one? Delete. Okay, so we want the user to be able to do all four of those things. We'll press save. Okay, so now this role has a lot of permissions. They are all very fine-grained permissions here. So the last one we need to do is for documents and media. Let's refer to that list. So we added site administration, access, and view. So now they want us to specifically add folder and view permissions for documents, as well as the following 4 permissions for document folders. The content creator should be able to add a folder and view a folder, as well as view, update, add subfolder, okay, and add document. So it's just missing that one. These 4 permissions for document folders: add a document to that folder, add a subfolder, update the folder, view the folder. And finally we have our document permissions. So the user should be able to update and view individual documents. That's really all there is to this exercise. It just gives you more practice to kind of see what are the different default permissions that exist for built-in resources into Liferay, such as blogs, documents and media, and web content. And again, it's helpful to remember that what do some of these mean? Well, site administration means this section over here. Now, as a Josiah Copeland, I can of course view all of this because I'm a system admin. But what this would mean for any other user who has the site content creator role, it would mean that they would be able to access specific parts of the site administration panel. So for example, if you had checked site administration for documents and media, but not for blogs, then when I go over here under content data, I'm only going to see documents and media, and I'm not going to see blogs. So all of these permissions kind of add on to each other, and if you make a mistake at any point, you just kind of test that out, go back to this role, and then check a few boxes, and you've completely changed that experience. So that's good for now. Again, I highly recommend testing these out by going through the bonus exercise, but if not, let's move on to the next exercise.